Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Bhakti Vedanta Bhagavad Group welcomes everyone once again to the weekly Harikatha. Please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. So, in the last session, so this will be the session 15 on Chaitanya Shikashtakam by His Grace Satchitananda Dasa Prabhuji. In the last session, Prabhuji was explaining the third verse, and Prabhuji mentioned some very important points. For example, Prabhuji mentioned that we should be humbler than a blade of grass, tolerant than a tree, giving respect unto all, and not respecting any kind of respect for the self. And one cannot have true compassion if the true humility is not there. Prabhuji also reiterated that the first verse is a synopsis of all the 8 verses, and the second verse is glorifying the holy name, and the third verse is the qualification one should have while chanting the holy name. So one of the main qualifications, as Prabhuji mentioned, is Trinad Api Sunichena. So one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a very humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. And Prabhuji gave some nice examples of how to repent. So he gave the analogy of the elephant. So when the elephant bathes, he does not have a single speck of dust. And the moment the elephant steps back on the muddy waters, he becomes dirty again. So this is the same as repentance. Even after a person repents, he or she keeps committing sins. So this is not an intelligent way. So one should take to repentance based on scriptural injunctions. Since Parikshit Maharaj was elevated, he requested Sukdev Goswami to please tell him something better. And then Sukdev Goswami mentioned that the root cause of sins is destroyed if one takes to pure bhakti by chanting the holy name. Also, Prabhuji gave a lot of real life examples of humility of acharyas, exemplifying Trininath Api Sunichena. And the notable example was that of the humility shown by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami during the meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami in the village known as Ramakeli. When they arrived in Ramakeli, in a great humility, both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, and each binding a cloth around his neck fell down like rods before the Lord. So the humility of them was such that they considered themselves inferior to even Jagai and Madhai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. The brothers Jagai and Madhai belonged to the Brahmana caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. They never served low-class persons, nor they were instruments to abominable activities. So that's the kind of humility that was shown. So we should try to follow the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami and pray that though we are unqualified to receive the Lord's mercy, it is our heart's desire that we may please receive your mercy. Our sincere and heartfelt thanks to His Grace Satchitananda Das Prabhuji for the nice session. And we request Satchitananda Das Prabhuji to kindly commence today's session number 15 on Shri Chaitanya Shikashtakam. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधु व्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you, Ashim Prabhu, for summarizing, and our special thanks from Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group to Pankit Prabhu with the help of the website bhagwat.ca and pureseva.ca. Pankit Prabhu put in a lot of hard work in making this happen, so my special thanks to him on behalf
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Pankit Prabhuji. So today we will sing one song from song number 2 of Humility, from Sharanagati by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that expresses deep humility. It's called Vidyara Vilase. Vidya means mundane knowledge, and Vilase means on strength of mundane knowledge. We will, because we are studying from Chaitanya Shikashtakam on the principle of deep humility, I shared this wonderful, very deep in humility song by Thakur Bhaktivinoda. Vidyara Vilase Katyanu ka Parama Sahaseyami. Vidyara Vilase Katyanu ka Parama Sahaseyami. तोमार चरण ना भजिनु कभू एखन शरण तुमी। विद्यार विलासे काट्यानुका परम सहस्यामि। विद्यार विलासे কাটানুকা পরমস হাসে আমি তোমার চরণ না ভজিনু কভু এখন শরণ তুমি তোমার চরণ না ভজিনু কভু এখন শরণ তুমি পড়িতে পড়িতে ভরসা বারিল জ্ঞানে গতি হবে মানি পড়িতে পড়িতে ভরসা বারিল জ্ঞানে গতি হবে আমানি সে আশা বিফল সে জ্ঞান দুর্বল সেই জ্ঞান অজ্ঞান জানি সে আশা বিফল সে জ্ঞান দুর্বল সে জ্ঞান অজ্ঞান জানি জড় বিদ্যা যত মায়ার বৈভব তোমার ভজনে বাধা জড় বিদ্যা যত মায়ার বৈভব তোমার ভজনে বাধা মোহ জন্মিয়া অনিত্য সংসারে জীবে কে কোরে গাধা हो मोह जन्मिया अनित्य संसारे जीवे के कोरोए गाधा সেই গাধা হয়ে সংসারের বোঝা বাহিন অনেক কাল সেই গাধা হয়ে সংসারে বোঝা বাহিন অনেক কাল বার্ধক্যে বার্ধক্যে শক্তির ভাবে কিছু নাই লাগে ভালো ও বার্ধক্যে শক্তির ভাবে কিছু নাহি লাগে ভালো জীবন যাতনা হইল এখন সে বিদ্যা বিদ্যা ভেল জীবন যাতনা হইল এখন সেই বিদ্যা বিদ্যা ভেল অবিদ্যার জ্বালা ঘটিল বিষম সেই বিদ্যা হইল শেল ও বিদ্যার জ্বালা ঘটিল বিষম সেই বিদ্যা হইল শেল তোমার চরণ বিনা কিছু ধন संसार ना आचे यार हो तुम्हारा चरण बिना किछु धन संसार ना आचे यार भक्ति विनोद जड़ विद्या छाड़ी तू आपदे कोर सार ओ भक्ति विनोद विद्या छाड़ी तू आपदे कोरे सार भक्ति विनोद जड़ विद्या छाड़ी तू आपदे कोरे सार। हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी, नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी, नमो नमो। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाओ एय विलासी, कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो एय विलासी, कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी। मोरो अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो, নয়নে হেরিব সদা যুগল রূপ রাশি নমো নমঃ তুলসী কৃষ্ণ প্রেয়সী নমো নমঃ যে তোমার শরণ লয়ে তার বাঞ্ছা পূর্ণ হয় কৃপা করি করো তারে বৃন্দাবনবাসী এই নিবেদন ধরো সখিরানুগতা করো সেবায়াধিকার দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী এই নিবেদন ধরো সখিরানুগতা করো সেবায়াধিকারো দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী নমো নমঃ তুলসী কৃষ্ণ প্রেয়সী নমো নমঃ রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা পাবো এই অভিলাষী কৃপা করি করো তারে বৃন্দাবনবাসী দীনা কৃষ্ণ দাসে কোয়ে এই যেন মোর হয় শ্রী রাধা গোবিন্দ প্রেমে সদা যেন ভাসি দীন কৃষ্ণ দাসে কোয়ে এই যেন মোর হয় শ্রী রাধা গোবিন্দ প্রেমে সদা যেন ভাসি দীন কৃষ্ণ দাসে কোয়ে এই যেন মোর হয় শ্রী রাধা গোবিন্দ প্রেমে সদা যেন ভাসি তুলসী কৃষ্ণ প্রেয়সী নমো নমঃ তুলসী কৃষ্ণ প্রেয়সী নমো নমঃ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ নিতাই Nitai Gauranga Gaur Hari. Ho Nitai Gauranga Gaur Hari. Bhaj Gauranga Kaho Gauranga Kaho Gauranga Gera Naam Re. Bhaj Gauranga Kaho Gauranga Laho Gauranga Gera Naam Re. Jai Jana Bhaje Gauranga Sheyamar Praran Re. Jai Jana Bhaje Gauranga Sheyamar Praran Re. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radhe. Jayatam Suratau Pango Mama Manda Mate Gati Mat Sarvasva Padam Bhojo Radha Madana Mohana. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Radhe. Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadruma Srimad Ratnangada Simhasanasto Shri Srila Radha Govinda Devo Preshthalibi Sevyamano Smarami. Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe. Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamshi Vata Stitaha Karshane Smenu Gopi Shri Gopinathaya Shreyastuna. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Jaya Lalita Vishakha Radhe Shyam. Jaya Lalita Vishakha Radhe Shyam. जय ललिता विशाखा राधे श्याम। जय ललिता विशाखा राधे श्याम। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। 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 चैतन्य शिष्टाष्टकम। चेतोदर्पणमार्जनम् भवमहादावाग्निर्वापणम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणम् विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनम् प्रतिपदपूर्णमृतस्वादनम् सर्वात्मा स्नपन्नम् परम विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम्। नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रर्पित नियमेत स्मरणेन कालः। एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममयपि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् इह जानि नानुरागः। तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोइव सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेना कीर्तन्या सदा हरि। ना धनं ना जनं ना सुन्दरीं कविता वा जगदीश कामे मम जन्मनि जन्मनि ईश्वरे भवतात् भक्ति अहैतुकी त्वयि। अयि नन्दतनुज किं करो पतिता मां विषमे भवाम्बुधो। कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिं सदृशं विचिन्तया। नयनजलधमश्रुधारया वदनगद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकीर्णचितं वपुकदा तव नाम गृहणेषु भविष्यति। युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रवश्यायितं शुनायितं जगतः सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे। अश्लिष्य पादरतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनं मर्म हर्तु करोतु वा। यथा तथा वा विधातो लम्पटो मत् प्राणनाथस्य वनापरः। मत प्राणनाथ सैव न परः मत प्राणनाथ सैव न परः। आराध्यो भगवान् व्रजेश तनयस् तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काचिदुपासना रजवधुवर्गेण तया कल्पिता। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणयमलं प्रेम पुमार्थो महान् श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतैदं नायत्रयाग्र परः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नवनीरदनिन्दित कान्तिधरं रससागर नागर भूपवरं शुभवं किमचारु शिखण्डशिखिं भज कृष्णनिधिं व्रज राजसुतम्। राधिका सरोदिन्दु निन्दिमुख मण्डली वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्मं वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्मं वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्मं वृषभानुनन्दिनी। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की जय, श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी की जय, कृष्ण बलराम जी की जय, माधवेंद्र पाद पुरी वल्लभ तारा वल्लभ श्री गोपाल जी श्रीनाथ जी की जय, गिरिराज धरण की जय, गिरिराज धरण की जय, गिरिराज धरण की जय। His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya Acharya Guru Varg की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we are gathered here for
Prabhuji, you are mute.
So I got muted. Sorry about that. So today we are here at the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group, gathered here to further assimilate and reflect on these beautiful verses of the Chaitanya Shikashtakam that directly emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his most munificent incarnation, the Audharya Avatar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is said to be even more merciful than Krishna himself. The reason is because Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is the most compassionate of all. So, considering the mood of Radhaji and Krishna himself, the combination, never before has such an avatar come to uplift mankind, to give them the highest. Rup Goswami says, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishay Namaha. Rup Goswami glorifies Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying that Namo, I offer my obeisances, Mahavadanyaya. Maha means the greatest, and Vadanyaya means the munificent. Nobody is as charitable, as munificent as this personality. And what is this personality's name? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Namine. His name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And Gaura, he is of a golden complexion. Gaura Tushe. Tushe means complexion. Gaura Tushe Namaha. I offer my obeisances. So, very true. Um, Previously, in the previous yugas, mostly it was predominantly worship of Krishna or incarnations of Krishna, like Lord Ramachandra, Lord Narayana, Vishnu, and many other forms in awe and reverence. And wherever there is awe and reverence, at that time, the intimacy is inhibited. And so is the intimate, loving relationships are not freely possible. But by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, by his advent, he has opened a storehouse of Krishna Prem. Krishna Prema Pradayate is Prakrishta Rupena Dayati iti Pradayate. Pradayate in Sanskrit means, it's a combination of two words, Prakrishta plus Rupena. Rupena means uh, the form. So, Prakrishta plus Daine means, Prakrishta means the topmost or extreme, and Daine means to dan, to give charity. So nobody is giving as much charity of a treasure of Golok. Golokera prema dhana hari nama sankirtana. So this treasure of Golok Vrindavan, the topmost planet amongst all the planets in the spiritual sky, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it very easily without considering any kind of qualification. Even the most fallen got his mercy and got the highest concept of theism, which was never ever before given. Anarpita Chirata Charitam Karunaya Kalo Autirno. Uh, Never before has this particular form appeared. It has now appeared in Kali Yuga, who has Anarpita, never given before. He is offering, which is Krishna Prem. And the best means of getting Krishna Prem is chanting the holy names offenselessly. That is our goal. We may be chanting the holy names, but we are not chanting in Shuddha Nam. There are three stages of the holy name. First stage is known as the Nam Aprad stage, where we are chanting the holy names, but at the same time, we are knowingly or unknowingly committing offenses. The second stage is when we continue chanting in this offensive stage, the holy name being the life mantra is so powerful, so merciful, that seeing the mere attempt and the mere desire by the devotee slowly, eventually, and will turn that into Nam Abhas. Nam Abhas means a reflection of the pure name, a reflection or a shadow, Abhas. And in that particular stage, all our different misgivings or anarthas are mitigated, uh, which kind of is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the first verse. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadava agni nirvapanam. It extinguishes this forest fire of existence in this material world, this materialism, when we chant the holy names. And when we reach that Nam Abha stage, then further, after all that is not wanted, it is eradicated, it is uprooted, then further mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, the Adi Guru, that flows through the medium of the pure, transparent personalities of the Vaishnava Acharyas, uh, and the most recent being His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, penetrates our hearts, and we become a very nice, shining surface that radiates that love that emanates from Golok Vrindavan. And it is going to that love which is in the form of millions and millions of cooling moonshine, which is considered the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Susitala Je Chaya Jagat Judai Heno Nitai Vine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai Dhrida Kori Dhoro Nitai Pair She Sambandh Nahi Jar Vrtha Janma Gelotar Vidya Kule Ki Kori Betar Nitai Na Bolil Mukhe Majilo Samsar Sukhe. Ah, so, like this, Lord Nityananda, who is non different from Krishna, his first expansion, Lord Baldev, and because Chaitanya, Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani, he's never alone because devotees, his own associates, can never stay without Krishna. So they descended with him. Lord Balram, he descended as Lord Nityananda. Vrajendra Nandana Shachishutta Hoilo Shai. Balram Hoilo Nitai. And Nityananda Prabhu is the Adi Guru. He teaches us everything that we need to know about devotional service so that we can serve Radha and Krishna nicely. We can enter into the this is Prabhupada's words. A little bit funny. When he has sung this song, Prabhupada, and then he gives a purport many years ago, I still remember. Prabhupada says that if you want to enter the dance party of Radha and Krishna, you must take shelter of Lord Nityananda. So Prabhupada is indicating the dance party as in the the Ras Leela, the Ras Mandal, and so many other wonderful Madhuri Ras pastimes of Radha Krishna, along with the other wonderful amorous gopis in Vraj. So without his mercy, it's not possible. And that mercy is possible if we cleanse our hearts so nicely that there are no barriers. Just like I've given this example and I like to give it. One may have the latest version of the iPhone or the Samsung, probably costing about $1,200 or $1,300. But if you're in a basement or covered with thick walls, then the signal is going to be weak and you're not going to get the connection or the reception. Or vice versa. You may have the best latest model phone, but if the transmitting tower has issues or if you're out of range, then what can even the most expensive phone instrument do? So there are two requirements in order for excellent communication. It's the reception and the transmitter, both. The transmitter is Lord Nityananda, the original transmitter. And just like, if you all know, uh, why do we call cell phone? We call our phone cell phone because uh, there are cells like towers that are intermittently placed in all towns and cities. So when we are, let's say, traveling from one point to another, let's say you're traveling on a bus or a car or even on a train, right? Then what happens is, when your ongoing conversation does not get cut off, if the reception is good and if the towers are good and your instrument is good, it continues and you can go on driving for 100 miles, 100 kilometers, and you can still enjoy your conversation while you are driving on your Bluetooth or on your speakerphone. Why? Because those sound waves are traveling from one tower to another tower to another tower to another tower. Uh, and you can see those cell towers on top of buildings. Uh, they're not so huge in structure, but you can see them if you, or if you just Google a cell tower, and you will see what they look like, and you will find several of them in your neighborhood. And then the signal from your phone and from the phone from wherever that person is calling, it goes through a network of cells, and those cells, or the cell towers, bring that signal or the reception to your phone. So the signal from Golok Vrindavan, it comes from the most perfect cellular tower, that is Lord Nityananda, his mercy. And it flows to the most perfect cell towers, like the acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada, without any depletion, as it is, the messages, the mercy, with the highest compassion. Because it is said that even Nityanand Prabhu, who has understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental mood, he is also super compassionate, like Mahaprabhu, and perhaps even a little bit more, if we can say so, because from the Leela, or the pastime of Jaga and Madai, we see that Mahaprabhu was ready to kill them, but Nityanand Prabhu said, "No, Mahaprabhu, no, please don't. Our whole idea of coming in this particular form is to distribute prema, to distribute love. So you have promised that in this particular avatar you will not take any weapons. So, but Nityananda, they have offended you. They broke a liquor pot. They were drunk. They abused you. They used profane language. And not only that, they beat you, and you're oozing. Streams of blood are coming from your forehead, from your head. This is a huge offense. I cannot see that. Not possible. You are my life and soul, Nityananda. And these scoundrels and rascals have done this to you. No. And Mahaprabhu looked at the sky, and right there from Vaikunta, Sudarshan Chakra started coming down. And when it was coming down, Nityanand Prabhu fell at the feet of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, please, please stop, 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 stop. Don't do this. You cannot take any weapons. You are the Prema avatar. Prema Dhama Eva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. Beautiful. See, we have to study the songs of the Vaishnava Acharya. Sarva Bhattacharya in Jagannath Puri, who was the greatest Acharya, Sarva Bhauma, a Brahmin in King Prataprudra's palace, and a great scholar. Later on, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, he became such a wonderful Vaishnava. And he wrote wonderful poems glorifying Mahaprabhu, glorifying Nityanand Prabhu, glorifying Advaita Acharya. Like this. So Mahaprabhu said, Chakra is gone. It's released. Only if they ask for your forgiveness will this chakra stop. Otherwise, it's out of my control. Something exactly like what happened when an offense was committed towards Amrish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni had visited Amrish Maharaj's palace, and it was time for Amrish Maharaj at that moment to break his big Ekadashi fast, the Nirjal fast. And he had only perhaps a few seconds or half a minute, something like that. That time was approaching. And Durvasa Muni always traveled with 10,000 disciples. So he was very happy that a great rishi came to his palace. He offered him obeisances, washed his feet, and Durvasa Muni said that we will be back and we will take prasadam, we will take a bath and come back. And he left with his disciples to take a bath in the river. Now, but Amrish Maharaj was waiting to see what to do, because if he did not break his Ekadashi or he did not do the Dwadashi Paran, his Ekadashi would go wasted. So he asked his ministers, he asked the Brahmins, what is the best thing to do? So the Brahmins and the ministers said that, you know, Amrish Maharaj being a wonderful Vaishnava, a Raj Rishi. And in those days, the Rajas or the kings, they were saintly, therefore they were called Raj Rishis. Krishna uses this word in the Bhagavad Gita as well. So they said that time is approaching, Raja. In a few seconds, you have to break your fast. Uh, so then, and that is why, every time we have the Ekadashi, we always announce even in our Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group, and even in ISKCON, we have the ISKCON Vaishnava calendar. So everybody must follow Ekadashi very strictly. My humble request to you, because Madhav Tithi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kori. Bhakti Vinod Thakur ji says that it is Madhav Tithi, very dear to Krishna. Madhav Tithi, Bhakti Janani, it is the mother of devotion. Jatane Palana Kori. With great endeavor, I will follow Ekadashi. So, and Ekadashi, and it is not difficult, no beans and grains. You can, best is according to the scriptural injunction, no water on all Ekadashi, Nirjala. But the concession is given. If you cannot, for health reasons, or if you just cannot do it, then fruits can be taken. If not, fruits and milk can be taken. If not, you can take everything except beans and grains. So then keep it simple on Ekadashi. And every Dwadashi, Ekadashi means the 11th. Ek Dasha is Ekadashi, 11. And Dwadashi, Dwa means 2, and Dasha means 10. So Dwadash means the 12th day of the month. Dwadashi. So on Dwadashi we do Paran. Our Asim Prabhu always announces the next day we have Dwadashi Paran from between 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. as an example. And it is calculated based on your town, your latitude and longitude. Generally in the same zone, it's the same timing. But supposing if you go to the central time zone or if you go to the west coast, then it may differ. Timings in India will differ. People in India make this biggest mistake. Those who live here, they bring the calendar from India and they put it on their wall. And then they see, oh, today is Ekadashi. No, it does not work like that. Uh, See, these are some of the fundamentals, because they're coming, the remembrance is coming. I'm trying to share with you all so that it will be beneficial. For example, let's say it is somebody's birthday today, and the birthday is what is the date today? Today is the 13th of June. So on 13th of June, like usually a lot of them want to surprise at midnight. They will come with a little cake and a candle and wake the person up. Happy birthday to you. And they'll sing the songs, the family members, and they give this surprise, thing right there in the bedroom on the stroke of midnight. The family people are all planning, surprise things. Then the birthday will be finished according to the English calendar at 12 midnight. Let's say June 13, midnight. But actually, it is already the 14th in India. Does that make sense? So, according to the Vedic calendar, it is not midnight to midnight. First of all, we should understand that. It is from sunrise to sunrise. That is the Parva. So, it is actually very nicely calculated. Nowadays, the computers are so perfect that they can calculate the Ekadashi to the millisecond. even some of the the murats. So when we are following Ekadashi according to India, we may make a mistake. We may not be following it correctly because there is a 12-hour or 10.5 hour time difference that happens. So therefore, it is very important to calculate it based on where you are. Uh, one is wherever you are, where the sun rises, that's where your day starts, right? Not where the sun sets or sun rises in some other country. Does that make sense? This is very common sense. So similarly, there's a lot of people in the Hindu temples. They and I've had this discussion even with many people. Oh, we are doing Ekadashi tomorrow because it's Ekadashi according to the Indian calendar. It is on the such and such a date. So that's fine. Okay, if you want to do it, but this is how it should be. And that is why we take this. And then the next day is Dwadashi, where we have to break the Ekadashi fast by taking some grains, a little bit of grains that we need to take to break the fast, because we are abstaining from grains and beans on the 11th day on Ekadashi. So on the 12th day, you take some Krishna prasadam that has been offered, either some chapati or some rice that has been offered to Krishna, uh, and you just simply, even if it is offered the day before, as long as it is there, you can. And the best thing what we Gaudiya Vaishnavas do, we break our fast with Lord Jagannath's prasad, with Lord Jagannath's rice. Uh, and next time, when we meet in person, if you all don't have Lord Jagannath's rice prasadam, I have plenty. Uh, they usually there's a lot of prasadam that is being distributed at the Jagannath temple outside in pink bags, and there is all wonderful dry rice that was offered to Lord Jagannath, and they dry it in the sun, and then that Vaishnavas take it with them, and they, wherever they go, there's some facility. Sometimes, you may be traveling and you have to buy something vegetarian without onion garlic. So, quickly you can pick up a grain of Lord Jagannath's rice, put it on it, and that becomes prasad, right? So that is prasadam. So Lord Jagannath rice, it's pure prema from Vraj. That is the bhav. Lord Jagannath in the Jagannath temple, 22 hours, 21 hours, they offer constantly tons and tons of rice as being offered. That is his favorite. Uh, Jagannath loves rice, he loves urad dal, he loves katthal, he loves the jackfruit sabji. These are some of the, and Jagannath khaja in the sweets. So these are some of the things, the Jagannath khaja and the Jagannath rice, all devotees bring with them from Jagannath. So we were one bag. I mean, I have several, but it is going on for almost 12 to 15 years. Because all we do is in the morning during the Dwadashi Paran, we take a couple grains. I give a couple to my wife. I take a couple grains in my mouth and I just say, Jai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Devi Dwadashi Paran ki Jai. And that's it. So Ekadashi is successful. That is the system. So here, by the way, the next Ekadashi that will be coming is next Monday. We did not announce it. It is not tomorrow, but the following Monday, and it is the Nirjala Ekadashi, the big one. It is known as the Pandav Ekadashi. So on that day, it is said that those who have never done any Ekadashi throughout the year, here's the big chance for remittance. So next Sunday, somebody remind me. I will briefly mention about the Nirjal Pandav Ekadashi, the Mahatmya or the importance. Somebody can remind me. I will share the importance of the Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi. So coming back to Amrish Raja, it was time to break his fast, and here Durvasa Muni is taking his 10,000 disciples, taking a nice bath in the river, and then the ministers and the Brahmins say that, okay, the best thing is don't take any grains, it's okay. But because it is nirjala, without any water, you had fasted the entire 24 hours previous day, then why don't you just take just 2 drops of water that just fit in your palm, like that we do for achaman, and you just take it and just take the name of the Lord, and that way, because it was nirjala, your fast would be considered complete. So listening to them, he took 2 drops of water, just 2 small drops in his palm, and he sipped it. Om Shri Keshwaya Nama, Om Shri Narayana Nama, Om Shri Madhvaya Nama. And the moment he was doing that, Durvasa Muni, while taking a bath, he had this vision that whatever he wanted to see, he could see. And in the palace, here he sees in his internal monitor, Amrish Maharaj starting to take water. So he assumed that he is going to start taking his prasadam. And without him, he's such a great rishi, a great saint. How dare he do that? And how dare, I'm his guest. He should first feed the guests. That is the Vedic rules. That is the Vedic system. We should always first feed all the guests and then take prasadam afterwards. Even, when we have a home program, when we have satsang at home, we should ensure that all our guests, they are sumptuously fed. That is the Vaishnava etiquette. Serve them with your own hands. And then when everybody has completely eaten, you sit quietly and you eat with your family. That is the proper etiquette. So, like that, he sees that and he gets angered. And Durvasa Muni's anger is very well known, prasiddha. So immediately he gets angry. How dare he? I'm such a big rishi. And then he creates he takes one piece of hair. He was a mystic. He had mystical powers. And he creates one Jata Asur. Jata means from the hairlock. And Asur means a demon. So Jata Asur he creates. And he says, go behind this rascal and kill him. He has insulted me. So Jatasur says, yes, my dear master. And he goes straight into the palace. And there he is in front of Parikshit Maharaj, trying to kill him. Immediately, Krishna seeing that, within a split of a second, he sends his Sudarshan Chakra and Lord Narayana from Vaikuntha cuts off Jatasur's head. Jatasur is dead. Now, that chakra takes a U-turn and goes to Durvasa Muni. He's still bathing in the river and it comes behind him. And Durvasa Muni understood, oh, this is Vishnu's chakra and it is coming to kill me. And it had the blood already on it. So he knew that his demon was killed. So he started running. He went and took shelter of Lord Brahma. Brahma, please save me. Vishnu's chakra is behind me. I don't know what I did. Maybe I made a mistake. Please save me. Lord Brahma says, I cannot do anything. This is Lord Narayana, Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra. Sorry. He goes to Kailash because he has siddhis. And there he goes to see Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, Pahimam, help me. And Lord Shiva sees Sudarshan Chakra coming. He offers obeisance. Arey Baba, I cannot do anything. This is Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra. He's my master. Sudarshan Chakra, you simply go to him quickly before the Sudarshan Chakra catches up. Use your fastest and the speediest Lamborghini and reach there with the speed of your mind. And he goes to Vaikuntha. There he falls at the feet of Lord Narayan and says, Narayan, Pahimam, your chakra. And the chakra is almost there behind, breathing on his neck. And Narayan says, no way. It is now beyond my control. Aham bhakta paradhino. He says, I am dependent on my devotee. Then there's a nice verse. This is in the Bhagavatam. So he says, I'm dependent on my devotee. So now this chakra is also like me. He's dependent on my devotee. Even if I try to stop him, it's not going to stop. But the only solution is you go back to the devotee. I'll give you that much chance. Sudarshan Chakra will listen to me. And if he forgives you, Sudarshan Chakra will come back without touching you. So then he understands Durvasa Muni that he had committed an offense and he went to the palace again. He flew there and he fell at the feet of Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj was embarrassed. Oh, Rishi, why are you falling at my feet? Forgive me. It was a big mistake. I thought that you were eating and you were insulting me. He says, no, Rishi, I cannot even conceive of that. You are a great Rishi. You're a great saint. How could I do that? See, this is the character of Vaishnavas. Although he had made such a big mistake, trying to kill him, he's so forgiving him. He thinks, actually, I am the one, I'm offensive. So what? I should have not broken my fast, he's saying. Maybe I should have suffered the reaction of not breaking my fast. I should have waited for you. So like that. And then he's saying, please forgive me. And then he says, of course, there's no question of any offense. So Sudarshan Chakra goes back to Vaikuntha. So after that forgiveness. So similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Sudarshan Chakra had already left Vaikuntha to kill Jagai Madhai because they had hurt Lord Nityananda so badly. They had actually assaulted him. He was bleeding. So then Mahaprabhu was convinced. He says, "No, Mahaprabhu, no." And in the meantime, seeing the Sudarshan Chakra in a flash in the sky coming down, the Jaga and Madha, they fell at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu and asked for forgiveness. Please forgive us. Oh Lord, we did not understand who you are. We are very, very fallen, please. And like that, Nityananda Prabhu delivered them. Dina hina jathachilo, hariname uddarilo, simply by the holy name. Ek naam harinam loilo, ek naam harinam nadiya godru mein Nityananda Mahajan patiya chi namat jivera karane shraddhavan jana hai, shraddhavan jana hai. Kaho Krishna, bolo Krishna, laho Krishna naam. So this is all about the holy name. This whole Stakam is about the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that simply those who are chanting the holy name prior to Mahaprabhu's advent, they possibly got their perfection by going to Vaikuntha, but it was not so intimate. It was not so so full of nectarian love. But because of Mahaprabhu distributed this Krishna prem from Golokera Prema Dhana, Harinama, Sankirtan. That is why Mahaprabhu is insisting on chanting the holy names, and the criteria is set in the verse number 3. There are 4 criteria. That one should be humbler than a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, one should give respect to all, and not expect any respect for the self. These 4 things. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. And then if one is able to do that, then it is Kirtanya Sadahari. One can constantly chant the holy name. Today we sang this wonderful song in Bengali by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur from the Sharanagati book. It's Dainya song number 2. So let's talk about more. What is this Trinadapi Sunichana Taro Iva Saishnunam Amanina Manidina Kirtanya Sadahari? So here he's saying that in this particular song, that in Dainya song 2, if you all remember, I had mentioned that in the in Sharanagati there are 6 different limbs, and humility, uh, surrendering of the self, number 2. Number 3, or Krishna will always protect me, I have full faith. Number 4, um, Krishna is my maintainer. Number 5, I will always do things that are conducive to bhakti. I will accept actions, and I will do things that are conducive to devotional service. And number 6, those activities that are not conducive to devotional service, I will reject. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is the perfect example of all this, of humility through the bhajans that he has composed. And what better opportunity to kind of recite his bhajans uh, while we are studying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sishtastakam, especially verse number 3, the Trinadapi Sunichana Taro Iva Sahishnunam Amanina Manidena Kirtanya Sadahari. In today's bhajan, he says that Vidyara Vilase Katilanu Kal Aparama Sahase Ami. So, I took to this material education. This applies to all of us, even today. We feel that if we have attained so many degrees, doctorate, engineering degrees, accountancy, and so many MBA, so that is called Vidyar Vilase, on the strength of material knowledge. Katyanukal, I simply spent whole of my life, on the strength of my material knowledge. So this material knowledge, my degrees, they got me good jobs, good positions in companies. And what did I do? I took a nice position, and that way I spent all my time throughout my life working on based on the strength of my material knowledge. Vidyara Vilase. Parama Sahase Ami. Like this. Tomar charane na bhajinu kabu kabu. Tomar charane na bhajibu kabu. Ekhone sharana tumi. And I had no time for you, O Krishna. I did not worship you. I did not approach your lotus feet. No time. Wife said, let's go to the temple. No, no, Baba, no. I have to work in the office. Today, I have a meeting. No, Baba, no. Today is Janmashtami. You go. You make the prasadam. You do it. I will try to come. And then last minute, the person is struggling in, trying to get into the gates of the temple. and then the darshan is closed. So many times we see that people give priority to their personal vidyar vilase, on the strength of their material strength, material education. They put Krishna on the back burner. We have to have at least some routine in our lives, even if we want some decent bhakti. Just like we do nitya karma, we brush our teeth, right? We take our breakfast, we take our lunches, we take our dinner or supper, things like that. We take every day, we take a bath. Then why don't we make Krishna consciousness a nitya karma in our life? Chant the holy name regularly, do some reading regularly, hear Hari Katha regularly, at least once a week, go to the temple. Of course, now in the times of COVID, because of the lockdown, we cannot. But I'm talking about even when there was no COVID, we have heard a million excuses. You know, Weekends we have satsangs, and we invite so many people. But some people say, "Oh, sorry, Prabhuji, I'm stuck in the office." So that is Vidyar Vilase, Katyanu Kal, Tomara Charane, now Bhajinu Kabu. Uh, Akon Sharana to me. Now, in I'm coming to your lotus feet and I'm surrendering unto you. Porite porite bharosha barilo. Gyane gati hobe mani. Podite podite bharosha barilo. I reading on and on. Podite podite means I was reading more and more degrees, more and more what do you call uh, advanced knowledge or higher education. Even after getting good jobs, people have to do continuing education and so many things to keep up with their profession. So podite podite, reading on and on, my hopes grew and grew, for I considered the acquisition of material knowledge to be the life's true goal. This is what I consider, because that's what I was taught. Right from childhood, we are taught, oh, you better do your homework, eh? You better excel in school. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good job. Otherwise, you'll be ending up flipping burgers in McDonald's, or you'll be doing a minimum wage job. Something like that. So children are also taught, it's been imbibed in their heads. You know, yes, do your homework. Yes, get your material education. But yes, go to the church, read the Bible, go to the temple, read the Bhagavad Gita, sit down, chant the holy names. All these things should also be imbibed right from childhood. So, Pori de bharosha borilo. But I was thinking, oh, if I study more, I had so much faith in my education. The more I study, the more better job I will get, the better life I will obtain. Uh, and that is why I had full faith in my education. Education is the thing, bharosha. That is the faith. That is only the thing to do. And podide bharosha varilo gyane gati hobe mani. And knowledge, material knowledge, is the only solution. Gyana gati, and it's the only destination. Without that, there's nothing. You are fools going to the temple. You guys are fools wasting your time. Just talking about the God. There is no God. Some people, atheistic persons, they say, simply wasting time. Work is worship. You've heard that slogan. This is exactly what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. Okay? Gyane gati hobe mani. Sei asha bifala sei jnana durbala. And then this whole hope that this material education is finally going to give me happiness. Sei asha bifal. It is useless, fruitless. Bifal. Sei jnana durbal. And the same knowledge is a weakness. Because for my self realization, I did not get any time. Sei gyan agyan jani. And the same knowledge has become me science. Because this material knowledge is such that it is more or less brings about an atheistic propensity in us. Because the more we obtain degrees, the more we obtain wealth, the more positions, the more arrogance it comes, the pride comes in us. And then we try to compete with God, or we try to kill God, like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had all the success, material success. The word, the demon Hiranyakashipu, why was his name Hiranyakashipu? Hiranya means gold, wealth, and Kashipu means all comforts. Comforts means all kinds of comforts that you can imagine, the softest beds, the softest pillows, the softest silken clothes, and all the softest association in terms of physical union with many, many ladies, etc. So everything, Hiranyakashipu, he had everything. So that is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, that Shei Asha Bipala Shei Jnana Durbala, this entire hope based on knowledge and wealth obtained out of it, material knowledge, that is useless. And Durbal, that is simply a weakness. It causes weakness. Shei Gyan Agyana Jani. And the same material knowledge, I think now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is concluding that it is Agyan, it is knee science. Uh, this is amazing. Srila Prabhupada used to quote this quite a bit. Jada Vidya Jata Mayar Vaibhav, Tomara Bhajane Badha, Moha Janmiya, Antya Samshare, Jive ke Kore Gadha. Oh, so true, so true. Meaning, Jada Vidya Jata, this material knowledge, this knowledge of the material world, Jada Vidya Jata, Maya Vaibhav, it is an influence of Maya. It is the illusory power of Krishna, the illusion, the illusory external energy of Krishna that causes this. What is the meaning of word Maya? Ma in Sanskrit, if you there are two words combined, and if you do Sandhi Viched, when you break them, Ma is one word, and the second word is Ya. Ma means not, and Ya means this. So, which is not, or that which is not, is Maya, meaning it is illusion or illusory. Uh, and what is the profound effect of Maya? Like thinking I am this body, thinking that, oh, I was born in India, so I am Indian. Because I was born to Gujarati parents, I am Gujarati. Uh, because I was born in the state of Maharashtra, Jai Maharashtra, that is my state, like this. And then later on, migrated to the US. I was American. And then later on, migrated to Canada. I'm a Canadian citizen. I'm Canadian. So these are all upadhis. According to Naradji, Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratena Nirmalam Risikena Risikesha Sevanam Tat Bhakti Ruchate. Upadhi means problematic, big problems, disastrous problems. Upadhi. Ah. So, what is that upadhi? When we are on this bodily designation. So, Maya, the illusory external potency of Krishna, makes us think like that. Just like we have, the police officers, they pull over a car, and when the person is asked to step out, and when he steps out, he is, the officer feels that he is a case of DUI, driving under the influence of some substance, either alcohol or drugs. So there are some indications. So they ask him uh, to they put a torch in his eyes, a flashlight, to see if the pupils are reciprocating properly, or they are responding, or if there is some foul smell of breath, and then they pull out their, what do you call that, meter, to test the blood, the yeah, the alcohol level in the breath. And then they decide that yes, this guy is DUI, arrest him, impound his car. So under the influence. So similarly, we are all under DUI in this material world. We are all under the influence of the external potency of Maya, because we are just like a drunk person. When he's extremely drunk, we find that we watch it sometimes in the movies, or we've actually practically seen it, that somebody walking out of a bar barely can even stand up on his knees, and he's trying to fumble for his keys, trying to get in his car. And then along the way, he's mumbling 1,000 things. Oh, you don't know who I am. And the friend is telling him, please don't drive, I'll get you a cab. Oh, I can get me a 747, I can fly one. I have a pilot's license. And he'll try to fumble for his wallet to show that he is perhaps a pilot or whatever. And then some people will say, oh, I am the president, I am the king. and you all are my servants. And so he's under the influence. What he's not, he's thinking he is. So similarly, we are all under the influence of Maya. We are uh, we are also DUI because we are under the external potency of Maya. We are thinking that I am this body due to the body designations. And because I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. If one gets that full realization, then one is not under the influence of Maya. So that is the meaning of what he's saying. Jada vidya jato mayara vaibhav. Due to the not only the knee science that is created, through our material education, that actually keeps you away from realizing who we really are. The more material education we get, the more we want to kind of, what is the way, coerce and give more better comforts to our body. Nice creams. If we can buy something for $2, we are extremely rich now. Oh, who goes to Walmart? Ew. We should be going to JC Penney, or we should go to be the, that is, we have somebody, that we know, and one time they asked my wife, this is a nice thing you bought. Where did you buy it from? So she said, I bought it. It was not expensive, from Walmart. Ew! The first thing she said is, ew! Walmart. Who goes to Walmart? Because they always drove all these expensive cars, and they had all these expensive membership in all these clubs and all this. So the first thing that came in her mouth was, ew! Who goes to Walmart? So, so the point is that um, people, when we get more material education, more money, then we will always, try to give all more and more comforts to this body. A shirt that we can easily buy, for a decent shirt for $20, then we're not going to buy anything, settle anything less for $100. Or an evening dress that can be easily bought for $50. Those people who have got all this material knowledge and all this money, they will not settle for anything less than to show off, less than $2,000, $5,000, Versace dress, or what are those other big names? I even forgot. It's been a long time. And so, like that, even in India today, all those big names, that are there, those saris and those dresses cost lakhs of rupees, and people are crazy. And honestly speaking, they look ugly. They're torn in 20, or torn, or disproportionately cut, exposing certain parts of the body. And simply, because one donkey is praising another donkey, oh, this is amazing, and then it's worth their fanning their pride. It was worth their $2,000 spent on that dress. And that's exactly what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. That he's saying that uh, tomara bhajane bada. This is a impediment to your bhajan, to devotional service. And he's further saying moha janmiya anitya samsare. And more we will be attached to this ephemeral world, to this temporary world. We will be attached to this temporary world. We will think that this is it, this world, there's nothing beyond this material world. Moha janmiya, that illusory effect. uh, Moha janmiya anitya samsare, jive ke koroe gadha. And it makes the soul, or the real person, into a donkey. Jive ke koroe gadha. And that's exactly what the more educated the person, the more bigger donkey he is in terms of spiritual education. Shei gada hoye samsar boja. And this donkey is taking the world's burden, samsar boja. Bahinu anek kal. Bahinu anek kal is spending so many births. Kal means time, but it also means that many, many births. Bahinu means just wasting so many births. Badya ke ekon, shaktira abhave. And now, in this old age, I want to enjoy, but I cannot, because I do not have that energy. We find that people have so much money. All these people who are multimillionaires, who have made a lot of money in the, in the young days, and now in their old age, they cannot even enjoy their money. They've got so much money lying around everywhere in different types of assets, tied up in in property, tied up in bank accounts, tied up in so many different assets, but they cannot enjoy. They cannot even enjoy the good food because their teeth are loose, or they don't have any teeth, or they have some ailments going on, or they have certain diseases that cannot help, cannot they cannot enjoy the cake and other goodies, in terms of food. So like that, that's what he's saying. Our so that uh, in this way, Bardya ke ekon shaktira bhave kichu nahi lage bhalo, and nothing is good now, in this old age. Even this degrees and everything that I had attained at one time, the money, nothing looks good, nothing feels good. Jivan jatna hoile ekhon. And like this, in this journey of life now, she vidya avidya bhelo. uh, this now I come to the conclusion that this kind of knowledge is simply knee science. It has not really helped me. Avidya means knee science. uh, opposite of the true meaning, the value of true education, which is self-realization. Say avidya bhelo, avidya rajwala ghatilo bishama. And this blazing fire, this blazing fire of knee science, uh, I'm feeling it, in my old age. She vidya hoilo shelo, she vidya hoilo shelo. So therefore, I feel that this vidya, or this knowledge, material knowledge, is useless. And in the last verse, he says, Tovara charane bina kichu dhana. Your lotus feet, that is the only treasure. There's no other treasure except your lotus feet. Samsara na ache. And in this world, there is no other treasure other than your lotus feet. Bhakti Vinod Jada Vidya Chadi. Now, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Bhakti Vinod, Jada Vidya Chadi. He now gives up this material conception, this material knowledge. Atuapa de korisar, and I take the essence of your lotus feet, as I take your lotus feet as the essence of life, as the essence of existence. So look at the humility of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he has, prayed, and that is Trinadapi Sunichena. Taroiva Seshnana Manina Mandina Kirtanya Sadahari. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Antya Leela, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks these 8 verses, uh, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Uttama hai na apana ke mane trunadama dui prakare sahishnuta kare vriksha sama vriksha yena katileha kichu na boliya सुखाना माली है कारे पानी ना मा गया ये मा गए तारे दे आपन धन गर्म वृष्टि सहे अनेर कारे ये रक्षण उत्तम है न वैष्णव हवे निरभिमान जीवे सम्मान दिवे जानी कृष्ण अभिष्ठान এই মত হানে যেই কৃষ্ণ নাম লোয়া শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চরণে তান্দ্রা প্রেমের উপায় সেম থিং Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Uttam Hoina Apagan Mane Trinadana. One is an Uttam, a great Vaishnava, a top class, one who is like a blade of grass. Dui Prakare Sahishnu Kare Vruksha Sama, who is tolerant like a tree. Vruksha Yena Katalehu Kichuna Bolia. When a tree is cut, it doesn't say anything. Sukhana, Meleha Kare, Pani Na Magia. Even during a drought or when the driest days, the tree never asks for water. It's so tolerant. Yei yei magiye tare de apana dhana. And whoever asks whatever from the tree, like cooling shade or fruits or flowers, that is the dhan or the treasure of the tree. And tree says, please take it. I give you whatever treasure I have. Garma vrishta sahe anera karya rakshana. And it tolerates garma. Garma means the scorching heat. Vristi means the rains. Sahe, or torrential rains, it tolerates it. Anera karya rakshana, but the tree protects everybody else from the scorching heat or from torrential rain. Uh, like that, he says that Uttama hai na Vaishnava habe nirabhimana Jiva Shammana Dive Jani Krishna Adhisthana. So Uttam, a topmost Vaishnava. There are three kinds of Vaishnava: Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. And then, of course, you can classify them into nine: Kanishta, 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 Madhyam, Kanishta, Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta, Madhyam, 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 Uttam, Uttam, Kanishta, Uttam, Madhyam, and Uttam, Uttam. So Kanishta is that uh, that Vaishnava or a devotee who thinks he is only the devotee. In this entire world, he is the only devotee. He has faith in the Lord. He has faith in the Lord, but he thinks he is the best. That is one class of devotee. A second class of devotee is that he has, of course, he has faith in the Lord. He has faith, but he respects everybody else, all the other devotees. But he will not associate very freely with non-devotees. He will keep his distance. Uh, he will not he will not mix or commingle. And the third kind, which is the highest and the topmost quality of a devotee, is known as the Uttam Adhikari, where he thinks that everybody else is a devotee, everybody else is better than me. I am the rascal, I am the most fallen. This is his, so that is Uttam. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Uttam hoina Vaishnava have niro abhiman. So such a person is always bereft of any kind of self-respect. He doesn't want any respect for himself. Nira abhimana. Jive Sammana Dive Jani Krishna Adhisthana. And he's always giving respects to all the living entities, just not human beings. Jive Samman, Dive Jani, giving everybody respect. Krishna Adhisthana, because he sees that all are part and parcels of Krishna. Krishna Adhisthana. They're all dependent on Krishna. This is what a pure devotee of the highest order, he sees that. Ei mate, hena ei Krishna naam loy. And thus such devotees who take the holy name of Krishna, Shri Krishna Charanetandra Prema Upaja, they get the pure Krishna Prem, the completely unadulterated, pristine love of Godhead. Love of Godhead is obtained. That is exactly the same message in this verse. Trinadapi Sunichena Taro Iva Saishna Amanina Manadina Kirtanya Sadahari. Then, ei mate hai na ei Krishna naam loe, Sri Krishna charane tandra prema upajya. Like this, like Mahaprabhu says, exactly this is the same thing in Bengali that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that that such persons of such high caliber, the Uttam Adhikari Vaishnavas, uh, they, they, they will actually, they are able to get that pure Shuddha Nam, the pure holy name that gives them Krishna Prema. So Bhakti Vinod Kandiya Bale Bale Prabhu Pai, Heno Adhikar Kave Diva Hai Amai. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is praying in another prayer that I'm crying, Kandiya, Bale, I'm saying, Prabhu Pai, at the lotus feet of Krishna, Heno Adhikar, when will this happen to me? When will I get the privilege of becoming a devotee? So this is Trinadapi Sunichena Taro Iva Sashnanam, Amanina, Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari. So, like this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a very nice song also in Gitavali, which I think we had once sung it. I believe that uh, it's called. He is called the song Sistashtak song number 3. Sri Krishna Sankirtane Jadi Manasa Tohar Parama Jatane Tahi Labho Adhikar. If your mind is always absorbed in chanting the glories of Lord Krishna with great care, thereby the process of the Sankirtan movement or the Kirtan of Sri Krishna, uh, you will attain transcendental qualification. Uh, uh, you will get the Labhe Adhikar. Labhe Adhikar means one will get the qualification. Right now, we don't have the qualification, honestly, for chanting the pure Shuddha Nam. But we are in the offensive stage. In the offensive stage, in the holy name, there are 10 offenses. What are those offenses? So please try to pay those attention, and those who know it, that's great. Those who are hearing it for the first time or maybe have heard it in the past, that's also great. And every time before we start chanting the holy names, we should try to memorize these, the 10 offenses. And we pray to the holy name because the holy name is a live mantra. He is Sri Krishna. He is Radharani. The holy name is the associates of Radha and Krishna in Vraj. They are the associates in Madhurya Rasa. They are all present in Hare Krishna. So before we chant the holy name, we should close our eyes and within the hearts of our hearts pray, oh my dear holy name, oh Radharani, oh Radharani's Parshads, oh associates of Radharani, oh Krishna Shyam Sundar, oh associates of Krishna, please be merciful unto me. You know, I am chanting in the offensive stage. I'm committing so many different offenses while chanting the holy name. Please, please, it is my desire to become offenseless. Please, please, my dear holy name, O Harinam Prabhu, please grant me this, that I shall not commit the following 10 offenses. So, what is the first offense? And then one should recite those offenses within the hearts. Keep your eyes closed and chant those offenses. And if you go to Google, you will find them. The 10 offenses of the holy name. Just you do that and just add the name ISKCON on it, So immediately you will find so many places on so many websites. You will find those. So, what is the first offense? The first offense is when we consider uh, Krishna equal to all other demigods, or rather, even considering the name of Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva equal to that of Krishna. So that is an offense. There is no comparison. Ekla Ishwara Krishna or Shabbrata. Only Krishna is the supreme Lord. All of them are his servants. All of them are serving Sri Krishna. Even the avatars of Krishna, they serve Krishna. Uh, Even Lord Balram, he serves Krishna. Even Radharani, she serves Krishna. But because of the reciprocation, Krishna serves them also, and Krishna serves his devotees also. Jiver Swarup Hoy, Krishner Nitya Das. The eternal constitutional position of the soul is he's an eternal servant of Sri Krishna. So all that, even the exalted demigods like Shankar Mahadevji, and so many of them, they're always subservient to Sri Krishna. It is mentioned in so many scriptures. And if you look at Mahadevji, he's always glorifying Krishna. He only does three things, Shankar Mahadev. Lord Shiva, what does he do? Either he's chanting, or he's speaking Hari Katha, or he's meditating on the different pastimes of the Lordship, Lord Krishna. These are the only three things that he does. That is his life. That is his existence of Lord Shiva. And that is why he's known as Shiva. Shiva means auspicious, one who is always glorifying, remembering, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam Krishna. That is what Lord Shiva does. And that is why he's known as Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. Vishnu is the Lord, and Vaishnava is the devotee. Uh, Vaishnava is the servant of Vishnu, and therefore he is called Vaishnava. So one should not consider them. Eta cham shakalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srimad Bhagavatam also declares that Krishna, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, and everybody else are your amshas. They are your parts and parcels. So that also includes the topmost demigods like Lord Shiva. Shriram Yatha Dadi Vikar Vishesha Yogat, like that. There is no difference between milk and yogurt, but at the same time, milk is, once it's transformed to yogurt, like that, Lord Shiva is considered like yogurt, and Lord Vishnu is considered like milk. Uh, but milk can be transformed into yogurt, but yogurt cannot be transformed into milk. So these are some of the wonderful analogies that the Shastras give us. So one should not, he's always chanting the holy names of Krishna, and he's always telling his wife, oh my dear wife Parvati, you're so glorious. Dhanya Dhanya Giriraj Kumari, Puchata Hari Katha Prasanga, uh, Tribhuvana Pavani Sursuri Ganga. So he's glorifying his wife Parvati, Lord Shiva. Dhanya Dhanya, all glories to you, all glories to you. Oh Parvati, Giriraja Kumari. Why? Puchata Hari Katha Prasanga. You're always giving me the opportunity to speak Hari Katha. You're always asking me so many wonderful questions. Then what happened, my Lord? What did Lord Rama do? Tell me what happened, my dear Lord. What did Krishna do? Then what happened, my dear Lord? How did the gopis feel when Krishna left the Ras Mandal? Please tell us. Like that. Like Lord Shiva, if you all remember when we did the Srimad Bhagavatam introduction, the first speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Shiva. But he's always glorifying his Lord, Lord Krishna and his expansions and all his activities. So there is no comparison. That is why that is an offense. So those who have deities in the house and if they have demigods, please be extra careful. Nothing wrong. Always we can worship the common people. We offer obeisances. You know, calling each other Prabhu. Then Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesh, Mother Parvati, Durga Devi, they are so exalted. We should offer our obeisances to them because they are always in the service of Krishna, but they are not equal to Krishna. They are not God. And therefore they are called in English, for lack of words for the proper word, they are called demigods. But in the proper Vedic system they are called Devi Devatas. They are not called Bhagwan. So we have to be very careful. So if you have deities of any Devi Devatas or demigods, make sure, and plus you have a deity of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or any Krishna Tattva or Vishnu Tattva, elevate their seat. One should elevate it a little bit. Even if your temple is small, you make a little box or use a little clean box, cover it with a nice silk cloth, and elevate the seat of Krishna. And that way, all the demigods will be also the Devi Devatas will be pleased. Otherwise, if there's a very, very big person, especially in the Vedic culture, in the old days, even the children, after growing up and when the grandfather or the father was seated on a sofa, they would sit down in front of them. They would not even occupy the same sofa or the same level. So even when if a guru is there, somebody who is teaching us, then we should never consider ourselves equal. So even if they offer us a seat next to them at the same level, we should take a humble position. We should understand, no, you are my teacher, you're my spiritual master. My position is at your feet. I will sit down or I will sit in a lower seat. They're very important. Some of these mistakes are being made, and those are offenses, and they are connected. That is why when we do the Naam, and when we have all these things that we do unknowingly sometimes, so that is still an aparad. Not knowing the law, not knowing the law is not an excuse. For example, let's say somebody comes brand new from India, and he starts driving in Canada or the US. So, and our driving in the US and in Canada, we drive on the right side of the road, correct? And then this person suddenly, he has an international license and he's driven nice cars there, and he starts driving, and he starts driving on the wrong side. He starts driving on the left side, and if the police sees, the cop is going to pull him over and give him a ticket, for many tickets, for dangerous driving, impeding traffic, and so many other tickets will be slammed on that person with heavy fines, and his license will be taken, and he will be asked to present himself in court for committing these offenses. So then if he tells the officer, but sir, I am from India, I did not know we are not supposed to drive on the right side. In India, we drive on the left side of the road, or if somebody's from UK, it's the same story, right? They drive on the left side of the road. So then, no, I don't think so. Sorry, I think UK is also right side. It's been a long time since I went there. But anyways, you all get the point what I'm saying. So not knowing the law, it's not an excuse. So sometimes we commit sins and we commit offenses. There's a big difference between sins and offenses. Sins can be eradicated by chanting the holy name. Sins can be eradicated from forgiveness. But when we commit offenses, uh, especially to Vaishnavas, they're very difficult to eradicate unless and until that Vaishnava who we have committed an offense against forgives us. Like we have seen in the example of the Sudarshan Chakra, and that went behind Durvasa Muni, and Sudarshan Chakra that went behind Jagai and Madai. So we have to be very, very careful not committing, and that's why we do not get the optimal results. Unknowingly or knowingly, we are committing offenses. So it is a big mistake. In India, normally we say all gods are one. No, no. Where does it say in the scripture? Bhagavad Gita, Matta Paryana Anya Kinchit Ascha Dhananjaya. There's nobody equal to me. Oh, Samaruddha. Krishna says there's nobody equal to me. He himself, the supreme, wherever Krishna speaks, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Uh, Whenever Lord Brahma speaks, Sri Brahma Uvacha. Wherever Lord Shiva speaks, Rudra Uvacha. They don't say Bhagavan Uvacha. Whenever Naradji speaks, Narada Uvacha. But whenever Krishna speaks, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So this is This is what we have not been taught from our childhood. And then otherwise, none of these so-called, nowadays the temples have become a business. In our Toronto GT area, I've heard that there are over 400 big and small temples. People are opening small shopping centers where they generally you can buy your milk and your candies and your sodas and all your small necessities. The ma and pa store on the street corner, they are leasing properties, 1,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet, and they are importing DTs from India, and they open a complete nice shop. They have Ganesh ji, they have Shiv ji, they have Kartikeya, they have Sai Baba, they have Radha Krishna, they have uh, uh, Ramchandra Bhagwan, Sita Mata ji, Lakshman, and Hanuman ji DTs, and they have all kinds of DTs set up. Why? Because it is a business. Somebody has some faith in some particular Devi Devta, somebody in Sai Baba, so they will come and they will offer something in the box in front of Sai Baba. Somebody has faith in Lord Ganesh, so they will come and offer obeisances to Ganesh ji, and then they will do puja and they will do this and that. They will install Navagraha, the 9 planets, and then they will offer, there will be a box in front of the Navagraha so they can offer. No, this is not the purpose. It was never like that. It has become a business. All these Brahmins, all these people, they started doing this, and now it has become a business. We know of certain people who are business magnates, in the Toronto area, who have industries. And at the same time, they have opened Shani Mandir. And in the Shani Mandir, there should be only Shani Dev, but they have all other Devi Devtas. Somebody has opened Sai Mandir, and they have all other Devi Devtas, and including the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and his consort Radharani. This is very, very wrong. The position of Krishna is high, and even if you have to keep demigods, nothing wrong. Please respect them, I say. Do not disrespect. Sometimes, some very, very fanatical devotees, they are coming to the point where they say, you have to throw away all these demigods. I remember in Chicago many years ago when I used to go to the for the Sunday feast, and one Mataji was crying sitting outside in the lobby, an old lady. So I knew her from many years. So I said, Mataji, what happened? So she said that, beta, you know, I feel so horrible. And I don't know why I raised my son to see this day today. I said, what happened, Mataji? you know my son, after he has joined ISKCON 2 years now, but he is creating so much havoc in the house. I have had my deities of Lord Shiva, then Durga Devi and Ganesh ji since my childhood. That came from my parents house, and I had it in our mandir here. But he just got so fanatical, and he got angry recently, and he took all the Devi Devtas and threw them in the garbage. He said only worship Krishna. Now, this is nonsense. You know, this is complete nonsense. It is like saying, Naya Naya Mullah Jada hi karta hai Allah Allah. You get the point? Those who understand Hindi. One who is a new preacher is always going to yell out more and more loudly that they will, oh, you will go to hell if you don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. He is our Savior. Yeah, you understand that? So, like that, uh, there is a lot of fanaticism even in the in religion. So this is not good. How dare, yes, we do say do not, we do not say do not, we say worship Krishna, but we do not say disrespect demigods. Here we are respecting each other, calling each other Prabhu, Mataji, and we are throwing Ganesh ji in the garbage. That is a huge offense also, because Ganesh ji is a devotee of Krishna. He is a servant of Krishna. Yad pada pallavam yugam vinidhaya kumbha dvande pranam samaye saganadi raja vignan vihurtunasya jagatresya govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. He is the Vignahari, Vignaharta. He takes away all the material obstacles. But that power came from Krishna. When Lord Ganesh bowed down to Krishna, Krishna endowed him with that Shakti, with that special potency to remove obstacles. So, according to Krishna's wish, Lord Ganesh, he offers those results, and he protects people in the material world, etc. So, all these demigods play a certain role, but they are not Krishna. But that doesn't mean that we disrespect them. Krishna will be extremely horrified at such an action. And we will never get bhakti if we do that. Absolutely not. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he went, he used to bow down to all the different deities, wherever, whether it is Lord Mahadev or whether it is Durga Devi, Proud Maya Devi in Navadvip, and so many other places. Srila Prabhupada offered his obeisances to Durga Devi, Proud Maya Devi. One time Srila Prabhupada was in Navadvip, and he was in front of the Devi Ma temple, and there he, with folded hands, and there was trickle of tears coming from his eyes. So then all the devotees around him, because they were all new at that time, Prabhupada said that, we worship Krishna. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. Kind of, a clean slate. Do not try to, worship this and that, because like the Hindus, they are worshiping and they're all calling all of those demigods or Devi Devtas God. So Prabhupada made that very clear based on scripture. So then they were surprised seeing Prabhupada standing in front of the of Parvati Devi or Durga Devi's temple, and then Prabhupada sensed that there was a silence, and then Prabhupada looked and then, yes, she is so kind. She's Maya Devi. She is letting our Krishna conscious movement grow. Otherwise, if she wants, she can create havoc. So that is a very humble stance. Of course, Maya Devi will never create havoc in a Krishna conscious person's life. Rather, Maya Devi or Durga Devi will help. Lord Shiva will help. Ganesh Ji will help. But we have to understand the position. It's very, very important. That's Nam Aparad number one. And those who are doing that never put the picture of Krishna. Even if you're on a wall, you're hanging, then make sure there's other demigods. Put that position a little lower. Trust me, see the big difference that will happen in your life, especially in your devotional life. How Krishna will be pleased. How the demigods, they will bless you with bhakti. Otherwise, everybody goes to the demigods with a long list of material things. That's why the demigods are placed in this material world, so that they can fulfill material desires. Ichha anurupamasi yasya cha cheshtate sa govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Offense number one. So I think I've elaborately and sufficiently tried my best to explain. Comparing Krishna with any demigods, Devi Devtas, either the holy name or in terms of the deities or otherwise. Krishna's personality is supreme. Any Krishna, Vishnu, or Narayan Tattva, they are of a completely different category. And another thing that I will add, the Narayan and Vishnu Tattvas have 60 qualities or 60 gunas. Nandan Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has 64 super excellent qualities. Lord Shiva, he has got uh, he has got 55 qualities, and Lord Brahma has got 50 qualities. So the highest that a human being can attain is 50. Even we can become Brahma once we qualify. Just like somebody who qualifies, like gets the topmost marks in an exam with flying colors, qualifies to get a very topmost seat in the college, or in an academic area, right? There might be very limited seats, and only maybe it's only one, or maybe it's one person who is going to get that job for the CEO of a company, and the qualifications. So to become a CEO of this Brahman, one can become. We have, but we have to obtain 50 gunas. Lord Shiva has 55, and any of the Vishnu tattvas and Narayan tattvas, they have 60. But Nandan Krishna, from whom everything emanates, including all avatars, he has got 64 super excellent qualities. So there are so many different examples that came to my mind that I'm trying to explain in as much as I can. So we should not commit this offense. Nam Aparad number one. So chanting the holy names, but if we commit these offenses and we consider Krishna on an equal level with any other demigods, then that is an offense. Then our holy name will not be pleased. It will not give us the desired result quickly, good enough. So that's one. Number two, uh, the second offense is that to blaspheme Vaishnavas. And Vaishnavas means pure Vaishnavas. Actually, we should not blaspheme anybody. But especially if we have by mistake or knowingly committed an offense against pure Vaishnavas, then we are in big trouble. And we see the example, I did not elaborate. Lord Nityananda, he's the Lord, of course. Jagai and Madai got into trouble. Sudarshan Chakra came to cut their heads off. Amrish Maharaj, a Vaishnava, a devotee. And Durvasa Muni, also a saintly person, but a devotee takes precedence over any saintliness. Although he had all the mystic powers and a yogi and he can do all the magical feats, but he's subservient in terms of Krishna's eyes. He had committed an offense. Even a saintly person commits an offense to a Vaishnava, then he is in big trouble. So never on the blaspheming of Vaishnava is a, is an offense, and best is not to. We all have this tendency to criticize, even when we are in a devotional environment, you know. And I'm telling myself also, it is so natural. Sometimes it just comes when people behave in an obnoxious fashion. We just cannot restrain ourselves, but to make a comment. And if we are able to some point get the Trinadapi Sunichena Taro Iva Saishnana Manena Mandena Kirtanya Sadari, then we will be able to do Kirtanya Sadari when we can overcome that. So we have so many things to learn, uh, because we never know in the future which particular devotee can become a pure Vaishnava. Hmm. See, we never know, because Krishna's kripa is such that anybody, mukam karoti vachalam pangulangai te girim yat kripatam ham vande paramanandam madhavam. Very famous sloka, most of you all know the meaning. That when the mercy of Krishna or Mukunda happens, that mukum karoti vachalam, even a mute person who cannot speak, a dumb person who cannot speak, dumb as in one who is not able to speak, a disability, he he starts speaking. Pangulangai tegrim, and one who is lame, who cannot walk properly, or who is bereft of a one leg, he can even cross over mountains. Pangu Langai. Ulangai means to cross over a big mountain by the mercy of Krishna. Tat kripatam ham vande. I offer obeisances to your mercy, O Krishna. Paramanandam Mahadavam. Paramanandam, the bestower of the highest bliss, the topmost bliss. O Madhav, O husband of Lakshmi, O consort, oh, lover of Radharani, Madhava. So, like this, that's the second offense we should not commit. And we already somehow or the other covered through the examples of Jagai Madai committing offenses and Durvasa Muni committing offenses. Offense number three, Guru Avagya, to not follow the instructions of a guru. So again, I have to specify here Guru means Sadguru, not some uh, just some guru, because nowadays this is a fashion, you know. uh, so many people are becoming gurus. Guru's definition is given in the Shastra, uh, Updeshamrita. Rupa Goswami says that one who can control his senses, all the six different bodily, urges, then he is able to make the Sishya, he is able to make disciples all over the world. So one should be still sense control. But those gurus who are drinking tea, coffee, or those who are gluttonously eating pizza, pasta, cake, it doesn't matter if they are elected gurus or selected gurus, or they are in ISKCON or outside of ISKCON, simply offering it to Krishna, putting a tulsi leaf and offering pizza and pasta, that is not high class bhakti. We have to learn what to offer to Krishna. They never offered those things to Krishna. That is a Sagvadiyo Dharam. Sagvadiyo Dharam means that, it is some kind of a compromise we are doing, or we are told that we have to offer to Krishna without onion garlic. So we are offering. But Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam. Is this something that pleases Krishna? Supposing if I am your good friend and I come to your house, and if I'm allergic or if I don't like, let's say, eggplant, and you are making eggplant sabji, three varieties of eggplant sabji, then you are making eggplant pakoras, then you are making eggplant this, eggplant that, and you are serving me nicely in a very nice silver plate, and then offering me some nice cold coffee which I don't drink, then that service is not anukul. Service means what? The recipient of the service should be happy, he should be satisfied, not necessarily the renderer of the service. Please try to understand, this is the highest concept of real seva. The highest concept of real seva is the recipient of the service. That is whether it is Guru or whether it is Gauranga, whether it is Guru or Krishna. uh, they should be satisfied. It is for pleasure. So if we try to compromise by saying it is okay to eat this pizza and pasta, and nowadays, people are eating chocolate, that's not allowed. Prabhupada has said no. We are all guilty of that. We are not really strictly following. So that is Guru Avagya. That is why we are not growing leaps and bounds. We should be if we had chanted, when, let's say, some of us who joined the movement, let's say 30 years, 35 years ago, why is it today that Krishna is not dancing on our tongues? Why is it that with the symptoms that Mahaprabhu is describing in verse number 5, Nanam Galada Shrudharaya, Vadanam Gadgada Rudayagira, Pulakir Nachitar Vapur Katha, Tava Nama Grihaneshu Bhavishyati. Why? The answer is simple. We are committing offenses. We are committing offenses, and the more aware we are, the more we will try to we will be conscious of not committing those offenses. So please, dear devotees, this was offense number 3, not following the instructions. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittete Koriya Aikya, or na Kori ho mone asha. Uh, we should always, the lotus mouth, or whatever emanates from the lotus mouth of a Sadguru, pure Guru, Chittete Koriya Aikya. I will always, follow his instructions heartily through with my in the core of my heart. I will follow his instructions. So that is why Srila Prabhupada, why is he successful? A.C. Bhakti Swami, he followed the instructions of his spiritual master. He was feeling so guilty sitting in Vrindavan. Oh, I'm here, doing my own bhajan at the age of 69, 70 years. When I was young, my Guru Maharaj had instructed me to go to the West, preach this message of Krishna consciousness, the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, teach this pure devotional message to the English speaking world, and I've not been able to do it. Prabhupada feels so meek and humble, and he's repentant. But then he leaves Vrindavan, begs, goes to Bombay, sits 1 month on the stairs of a big shipping corporation just to meet the CEO. It's not easy just to walk into and meet the Rockefellers or the Warren Buffets or the Ambanis or the Mittals. No, we have to really be placed up there, and we have to really know somebody high there for them to even meet us for 2 minutes, honestly speaking. So he simply just was waiting, Prabhupada, that when she's going to pass one day on the stairs, I will catch her. And he was sitting there in the sun. Finally, when she saw a sadhu sitting, she said, Swamiji, what can I do for you? So he says, I need to talk to you. When can I come see you? Okay, come see me. Appointment was made. And then he says, please, my Guru Maharaj instructed me. And I know that you have ships going to the United States. You have shipping lines. Please give me one little place in your shipping berth. I don't have any money. I'm just a sadhu. I'm a mendicant. Please. She said, these are cargo ships. They're not for passenger. And you're an old man. You will not get those comforts. He says, please, you are a Vaishnavi. And she happened to be a Vaishnava from the Pushtimargi Sampradaya, from the Srinathji Sampradaya, from the Vallabh Sampradaya. She understood. And finally, she made the arrangements. And the rest is history. Prabhupada writes on that Jaldut. We just read that poem a couple sessions ago about his humility. That I've been given this big name Bhakti Vedanta, but if you so like my dear Krishna, my Gurudev, please let it come to fruition, because they have given me this big name. I do not have any devotion, no bhakti, but somehow or the other you have brought me here to the West. These people are full of ignorance and full of passion. How will they understand your message? Oh Jagat Guru. He addresses Krishna as Jagat Guru, and Jagat Guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, preceptor of the world. Whenever success came, millions of dollars came to Srila Prabhupada. Devotees gave donations, book distribution, from the opening of temples. Srila Prabhupada always gave credit to his guru. My Guru Maharaj sent these young boys and girls to me. Otherwise, what can an old man like me do? Uh, you are assisting my spiritual master. So, Guru Avagya, following, and that is Prabhupada followed the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, took it to his heart. Therefore, that success was guaranteed. That success is guaranteed to each one of us. If we keep all these instructions within our heart and slowly but steadily but surely we try to imply them in, we try to we try to make we try to imbibe and act accordingly in our lives. The fourth offense while chanting the holy names is to blaspheme the Vedic literatures. People sometimes, especially Jada Vidya, Mayar Vaibhav, Jive ke Kore Gada, we just sang that bhajan, that this material knowledge, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, has made this jiva, this person, into a donkey. Jada Vidya, the material knowledge, Mayar Vaibhav, under the influence of Maya. So there's so many people, oh, what is there in the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is nothing. Somebody wrote it. Nowadays we need technology, we need this, we need that. They're blaspheming the Vedas. And blaspheming of Vedas means also give different interpretations. We find people taking a glass of beer in their hands and trying to, in a book club, discuss Bhagavad Gita and try to concoct the meanings because they're scholarly in nature. They've studied arts. They've did MA, Master in Arts. They've studied Sanskrit. We find that in the elite society, whether it is Bombay, Delhi, Bengal, uh, the elite society has to have that wine glass in the hand before they discuss poetry. They hear ghazal, they consider ghazals and Bhagavad Gita slokas, and they try to mix and match, blaspheming the Vedic literatures. Because Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam, the word of God is the Vedas, non different from Krishna. The word of God, the name of God, the paraphernalia of God, the pastimes of God, they are God. They are non different from God. So the Vedas are actually Krishna. So blaspheming the Vedas, that's an offense. Offense number 5, to give some interpretation to the holy name. To give some interpretation. Oh, I think the holy name means this, holy name means that. That's an offense. Offense number 6 is to consider the holy name to be an imagination. People are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Achyutam Keshavam, Sridharam Madhavam. All these different names of the Lord that are there, they are imaginary. Some poet has written them, all imaginary in nature. That is an offense. Calling the holy names of the Lord imaginary means that is atheistic. Because the holy name is the Lord. The holy name is Krishna. Denying the holy name means denying the existence of Krishna. It's a big offense. Offense number 7, Nam Aprad, number 7, to commit sinful activities on strength of chanting the holy names. Nama balasya papa. Yes, the holy name is so kind that just one holy name can eradicate millions and millions of impious activities and sinful activities. But deliberately to commit sinful activities and then say, aha, I know the formula. I will do all the wrong things. I will commit all the sinful activities and then I will chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna is who? Is Krishna, Radhaji, Krishna's associates. Are they fools? No, they are not fools. They are kind, but they're not fools. There's a difference. Sometimes a kind parent will overlook many, many bad things that a son or a daughter does. But that means they're not fools. They're kind. So deliberately, if one does that, then from a sin it will become an offense. From pap it will become aparad. Then it doesn't work that way. Deliberately. Yes, Ajamil was very, very sinful, associated with the prostitute. He looted people. He was a dacoit. Lot of dirty things he did. But he didn't do it on the strength of the holy name. He did it because he was a victim of circumstance. But even when he chanted the holy name in the reflection or Nam Abhas by calling out his son, whose name was Narayan, he got an amazing, wonderful destination eventually back home, back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha. Instead of the agents of death who were just standing there to take him away, drag him to the netherworld, to the hellish planets, he got saved. But deliberately taking the holy name and deliberately committing offenses, it is like a bathing of an elephant, which was rejected by Parikshit Maharaj. An elephant bathes in a very nice, pristine lake or a water body for hours, and then when he comes out, on the very first step he takes on the bank, he splutters mud all over his body with his trunk. He becomes dirty again. So, what is the use of that kind of repentance? It is considered the bathing of an elephant. Manye kauchara socham. Kaunjara socham. I consider that as the bathing of an elephant. And that's what's exactly happening nowadays. Especially, we find Prabhupada used to mention the Christian church and the Catholic churches. There is a box, confession box. People come on Sundays and the priest goes into one side and the confessor goes into the other side. Father, I have sinned, please forgive me. Father will ask, what have you sinned? Oh, I did this. Okay, sin no more. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And then he will leave. And then he will come back again the next Sunday, and the next Sunday, and the next Sunday. But pure bhakti is not like that. So the point is that if we deliberately consider on the strength of chanting the holy name, then we are abusing. And the holy name is Sri Krishna and his associates, and they are not fools. Offense number 8, to consider the chanting of the holy names to be equal to the mantras of the Vedas, especially those in the Karma Kand, for fruitive activities. The Vedas deal with many subject matters, with material life and spiritual life. And for the obtaining of material life, there are so many different karma kandi or fruitive activities that are recommended so that one can get more prosperous, or obtain more wealth, obtain material powers, obtain siddhis, etc. And there are mantras that help in obtaining material goals. Now, to consider the material goal mantras and the Mahamantra or the holy names of the Lord to be on an equal platform is blasphemous. It is offensive. It is an aparad. It is almost equating the demigods to Krishna, like number one, Namaprad one. Analogous to that. And never ever, my dear friends, for material gain chant the Mahamantra. Don't do that. If anyone like has any material needs, don't chant the holy names for that. That is not what they are meant for. The holy name can give it to us, no doubt. Just like a very, very rich person who is very magnanimous. If one goes to him and says, "Can you give me $1?" Okay, I'll give it to you. Somebody will ask, "My dear sir, can you give me $1 million?" Sure, I'll give it to you. Somebody will ask, "Sir, can you give me $10 million?" Sure, why not? Take it. I have a lot. I can give it. So, just a analogy here. We're asking $1 for the holy name when it can give us Krishna himself. He can deliver Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, where we can sing, play, dance, cry, make him your best friend, make him your son, your child, make him your lover. And one who has Krishna has everything. Janmadi Yasya. Everything emanates from Krishna. Is it true or not? So that is offense number 8. Offense number 9, while chanting the holy names. One should not preach the glories of the holy names to unfaithful persons. If the faith of a person is horribly low or consciousness is pretty low, don't try, you know, um, because otherwise we will become instrumental in him blaspheming the holy name. And I think some of you have heard this before, this example that I give in my practical life. Chicago downtown State Street, right outside the subway, outside Marshall Fields. I still remember that. There was one preacher, enthusiastic. He had his microphone, his little guitar, he had his little boombox right there, and he had the Bible in his hand. And he was reading out the different verses from the Bible loudly. And many people were going past here and there. And he was being so, what's the word? He was being, um, he was exerting a lot of pressure in his preaching. So I guess some of the onlookers or the passers-by didn't like it, and they were not of a very good character. And they said, "F Jesus, F you, F your Father in heaven." So now, the reason why that person was uttering the F word is because that person who was preaching was not careful enough of using some discretion, or he was too fanatical in his preaching that the other person, you know, he was instrumental in the other person blaspheming. So that is one of the things about, devotee. Jai bhaje Krishna shei bodo chatur. One who worships Krishna is very clever. So let us not throw that cleverness into and fall for the pitfall of fanaticism. And this is something similar to all those book distributors. Another practical example, some of the people who are very over enthusiastic in distributing books, that's good, devotional books. But again, don't cross the line. If you're approaching somebody on the street or knocking on a door, and if the person is not interested, you tried once politely, tried a second time, and then if the person is just not interested, let go, please. Do not hold their hand or don't walk in front of them, you know, thinking that it's devotional service. Because I saw that with my own eyes, Niagara Falls, a few years ago. Some enthusiastic devotee, fanatically enthusiastic, followed somebody, you know, for quite a distance, trying to give that Bhagavad Gita for $10. And then the person finally gave in and says, here's your $10, leave me alone. Disgusted. He took the Bhagavad Gita, walked a few further paces, saw a dustbin, a garbage bin and dumped it in there. That's not book distributions. I beg to differ greatly. We find that sometimes we are pressurized without even recognizing. In temples we go, oh, tomorrow is Gita Jayanti, Prabhuji, how many boxes will you sponsor? So if somebody says, you know what, I already did it last year, or I already did it this year, or not at the time, then there is no point in arguing with a person. You're only creating some averseness. You tried your best, you did your part. If person doesn't want to, everybody's got free will. Do not kind of become Krishna, or do not kind of become Prabhupada, or do not try to become Mahaprabhu, that we can deliver the whole world and we are so qualified. That position to accept is also humility. And see the success then. Every time we try to distribute a book, what do we have in our heart? Or we are trying to preach somebody Krishna consciousness. What is in our hearts? The preacher especially. If it is only for the well-being of the other, then the message will be received very nicely. Because Paramatma is situated in that person's heart. That recognition will come. But if somebody has some agenda, I'm building a temple, I'm building this, I need $500, I need $5,000, I need this, I need that, I need a new laptop, I need a new watch, then it is not different from all those Bhagavad Kathakars who are charging lakhs of rupees, sitting on the pulpit because they have a good oratorship. They have memorized the so many verses. But what is their agenda? Ram Nam Japna Paraya Malapna. You understand that? I think Brendan is not. And I think, I think everybody else probably. Ram Nam Japna means simply chanting the holy name. But what is the motive? Paraya Malapna. What is in your pocket should become mine. What is in your pocket should become mine. And that is why I'm chanting the holy names. That is why I'm preaching. So very careful. Now, offense number 9. The best thing you can do, if you're really compassionate about person who doesn't want to do anything, give them prasadam. Offer it to Krishna. Keep a few bananas, apples, something that is a common, fruit that everybody likes, and say, hey, you know what? I have this. Can I share this with you? And the moment they take that prasadam with them, they've already taken the seed of bhakti within their hearts. The moment they pop it, the moment they hold it, because it is the kripa of Krishna, that prasadam. Sometimes we come across such situations in offices and neighbors, who may not understand all these things, but let us not be fanatical about it. Be a good friend of those people, then see how Krishna consciousness will work like magic. If you make them a friend, and if you really feel that you're just like if you have a wonderful pastry at home, and it may be of small quantity, but if you're really a very, very magnanimous person, you want to share it with all. Like a Vaishnava. If anybody comes to the house, always come. Please, have dinner, have lunch. Although, we did not expect you, you just came. That is why they call Atithi Deva Bhava. Tithi means appointment, date. Atithi means without date. One who comes without the date and knocks on your door is considered like a demigod coming from the heavens. That is our Vedic culture. And we may have only maybe 5 chapatis, a little bit rice and dal. That's okay. We share it. We may not have it. Or if that person can wait, I'll make more. Atithi Deva Bhava. So the thing is, Krishna consciousness is about sharing. You like it. We like it. We like the message of Bhagavatam. We like the message of Mahaprabhu. We like the message of what Prabhupada is giving us. If we liked it, then why just keep it within us? Give it to others. But please be friends first with them. And give it in whatever way you can. One may not be a speaker, one may not, but at least we can, if there's a satsang going on somewhere, we can invite them. Come, encourage them, but don't force them. If we force them, they'll become ours. We received the WhatsApp message from the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group. If you like what you're hearing, share it. We're not asking for any money. We don't want anything. Not asking a single penny from anyone. Our mood is to assist Srila Prabhupada. And that's what I want in each one of you. In whatever way you can, spread this Krishna consciousness. It is the highest gift. And finally, the 10th offense. The 10th offense is, in spite of chanting, hearing, studying the scriptures, etc., or involving oneself in devotional activities, we remain materially attached. And also, chanting inattentively is an offense. So, the more we advance, diametrically opposite our material attachments, the gap should increase. And if we want milk, yogurt, cream, butter, we want to spread ourselves everywhere, then we are not going to get anywhere. Vyavasaya atmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bhausaka hi anantasya samadho na vidyate. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, those whose minds are irresolute and multi-branched, they will never attain perfection. Samadho na vidyate. So as we are chanting the holy names, naturally our own inside us, some detachment will start coming. Those people who are still attached to the big balances, but they still wear the garb of a sannyasi, and they wear those starched clothes, perfectly ironed, and a Rolex watch, and they have a couple million sitting in the Swiss bank account, and 10 properties in different cities, renting it out to their disciples, and collecting more and more. Where are they going to take it? And there are some sadhus that I have seen with my own eyes, that even if you give them $1 in pranami, whichever temple closest is there, they will donate everything to that temple. No, this is for Prabhupada's service. There are some gurus who give their poor disciples money. Okay, you want to go to Vrindavan, you don't have money. I received some donation. Here is it is. There are some sadhus who go to the villages and they do Bhagavad Katha. And the villages cannot afford the arrangements. We have seen sadhus who out of their own money, they arrange for everything, including prasadam. They pay out of pocket. That is the perfect use of Lakshmi. And that is, although having Lakshmi detached, Srila Prabhupada also completely detached, although he had millions and millions of dollars coming in. Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Book Trust, BBT, it's a multi-million dollar devotional institution that Prabhupada created separately just from the books. But Prabhupada never used it for himself. Not one penny. It was always, if some temple was in trouble, needed some Lakshmi, Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Book Trust would come to help. Prabhupada would instruct, give them the money. They need it. But that spirit, few have and many have lost. Prabhupada wanted, he would have put in his will that, I have sons and grandsons in Kolkata. They should get my inheritance, which is ISKCON. But he clearly said no. This is my Guru Maharaj's institution. It is not my family's. If they come, refuse them. Just give them prasadam. That's it. But if they try to claim that this is a part, they are a part, they want the assets of ISKCON, no, no. So money is not an impediment. Lakshmi is amazing. Money, but it depends. Yukta vairagyam uchyate, Rupa Goswami says. Krishna sambandha. If one has the money and one wants to spend it in Krishna sambandha, spreading Krishna consciousness, uchyate, that is yukta vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. But yukta means to engage that detachment in Krishna's service, even if it is millions of dollars. So that's the 10th offense. So basically, these 10 offenses we should avoid. My earnest request, you've heard it now. Those who don't know them, download them from the internet before you chant the holy names. I would humbly request, please recite these. When you recite these, this comes into a subconscious mind, and eventually it will become verbatim. And after verbatim, even if it is mechanical, at some point it will become a reality in our life. Uh, some of us are committing all 10 offenses, some of us are committing a few, but somewhere or the other we are committing offenses. And that is why we are not getting. It's like a boat. When you drop the anchor and you keep rowing, how much farther can we really go? Probably the length of the rope to which the anchor has been dropped. Many years ago, I remember in my childhood, college days, I used to go to a club in Bombay. So there was a boat club, swimming pool, all those activities, sport activities, badminton, chess, carom, cricket, everything. So I used to love to go down to the seas and take the boat, a rowboat. Thank you, Brendan, for coming. And one time, we had a couple persons that we used to go, small rowboat, go into the Bombay open ocean. And I was rowing, and then little did I know that my partner was sitting in the back, my friend. He had dropped the anchor. And I kept on rowing, and I'm looking at a reference point. We had the Governor's Beach uh, along the coast. And I'm seeing the Governor's Beach, I'm seeing the Governor's bungalow, and it's not moving. And I'm like, seeing that there is no current in the ocean. I don't see any major waves or anything. How is this boat not moving further? Just a few inches. And then I found out that he had dropped anchor. And then, we got into a kind of a furious thing. What kind of a joke is that? Can't you see it's like almost the middle of the day and I'm sweating, and and we still have to go back a couple miles back to the shore. And so the point is, anyways, that's what it is. We may make some progress, little progress, but not as much as we really need to make, because of these offenses are like anchors. They are like the headwinds that give us resistance. So thank you very much. I think I will stop here now. And we have actually completed verse 3. We can keep on going. There's so many examples of humility. Trinadapi sunichena taro eva saishnanam amanena manidena kirtanya sadahri. Next week we will enter into verse number 4, uh, which is na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavita va jagdish kame mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatat bhaktir ahituki tvai. गौरांग महाप्रभु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ब्रह्मपदो गौड़ी संप्रदाय आचार्य गुरुवर की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.